The week ends and Kenyans have little to smile for. At least 184 members of parliament voted yes for the Finance Bill 2023, while 88 members of parliament voted against it. For the record, the Finance Bill has a fair share of good news, as well as the cons that have largely been at the center of debate. The better word is a mixed bag of taxpayers. In summary, tax proposals approved include digital content monetization, the increased income tax on persons earning a salary of 500,000 Kenyan shillings and above, VAT on petroleum products, fall of excise duty on imported fish, and so forth. But tonight, we want to ask key questions and cast a spotlight on the biggest players of the whole process, those we call members of parliament, or better yet, legislators, or the people's representative. As if to make the secret ballot not secretive at all, we have seen names of legislators who voted for the bill and how they voted. Even those not present at the House are well known to you. This process should largely be about you as the taxpayer, you as a citizen of the Republic of Kenya, you as a voter. But was it? Can you confidently say that your member of parliament voted in a manner that you wanted? Did they vote yes because you wanted a yes, or no because you disagreed with the bill? The functions of a member of parliament are to oversight, to represent, and to legislate. On the representation, you can have a say on whether they did, whether they represented your views, your thoughts, and whether you are satisfied with how they voted. Hello and good evening. Welcome to the broadcast. You're watching EBN Weekend Edition from Kenya's capital, Nairobi. I'm Cynthia Nanjala. Here are stories making headlines tonight. Pressure piles on the Cabinet Secretary for Health, Susan Wafula, to speed up investigations over the billions of shillings lost at KEMSA and at the NHIF.
Ni vizuri watoto wote waite pamoja na sisi tunampenda sana. Tuzungumze.
Nominated Member of Parliament Sabina Chege asks former President Uhuru Kenyatta to initiate peace talks in the Jubilee Party so as to cease the infighting. The controversial Finance Bill 2023 continues to receive massive rejection from the opposition camp. Azimio calls on Kenyans to fight the bill. Let us shift from rhetoric politics. ICT Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo urges Luo Nyanza region. Be part of this broadcast. Our SMS line is 23993. You can watch us live on Facebook and on YouTube on EBN TV. EBN Weekend Edition begins right now. The government has been urged to fully deal with the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority and the National Hospital Insurance Fund (NHIF) scandals that have rocked the Ministry of Health. Bishop Joseph Oban of Catholic Diocese of Kakamega has called on the Cabinet Secretary for Health, Susan Nahumicha, to speed up investigations. This comes on the backdrop of procurement blunders that have seen KEMSA lose billions of shillings to bungled procurement processes. On the other hand, the NHIF is crippled with cases of unregistered hospitals receiving funds from the hospital insurance scheme.
So with the new facility that we have had, the new ambulance, I know the services, our services to the patient will be up to date because we have had challenges with our old ambulance. Sometimes it breaks down and it makes our patients not to be able to reach the facility well. But with the new ambulance, I know we are going to reach out to our patients in good time so that they can also access the medical services in good time.
Today we have had the honor and the pleasure of blessing a new state-of-the-art ambulance, which has even an ICU unit. For a number of years now, we have been complaining that we are not getting the rightful help that we need to serve the sick, and especially the faith-based facilities because of NHIF. I've been on record many times saying something is wrong with NHIF. Why is it that people are paying their contributions every 9th day of the month, and yet when a patient walks into the hospital, that patient cannot be treated because it has not been paid? Where is that money? Now we know. That there are people who are bent on benefiting from the poor, from the sick. And that is a scandal, as it has been called. But I say then the government must spare no effort in bringing to justice all those who are involved and reform the system. EMSA is the only agency, public agency for the government that distributes drugs. Now, when it is in the state that we have heard, it means Kenyans, when they walk even into the government hospitals or public institutions, even if they are treated, they can't get medicine. That's another scandal. That is a responsibility where the government again must come strongly out and make sure it's also reformed. And I don't think there is any other time other than now. And therefore, I do agree that something needs to be done.
The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, has been called up to launch investigations into the process used by the Ministry of Education to allocate education funds through the Integrated Financial Management Information System. Speaking at Shinoyi Secondary School in Kakamega County, Navaholo Member of Parliament Emmanuel Wangwe has claimed many schools have been missing out on disbursement of capitation funds, which he insists is as a result of corruption within the Ministry of Education. His claims have been backed by Sebastian Mangen, Bunyala West Ward representative, who has asked the necessary authorities to move in with speed and hold to account those found guilty of mismanaging funds meant to support schools across the country.
Unaendelea kwa Ministry of Education. Wizi unafanyika kwa njia ifuatavyo. One, wakati wanaleta vitabu, wanachukua roll call ya IFMIS ya watoto wote wenye wako kwa hiyo shule. Lakini wakati wakileta capitation, wanaenda wanakoroga majina ya IFMIS, majina yanatoka kidogo, wanaanza kupanga kwamba hawa watoto wako 18, wako 20, wako 30. Why do you have to give money in shortfall? Ile hali vitabu, wakati ulileta vitabu kwa hiyo shule, uleta vitabu in excess. Hiyo sio wizi. Kwa sababu kuna mtu anapata mlungula mahali akisupply vitabu, lakini hapa kwa capitation anajua madam ndio yuko, principal yuko, head teacher yuko, board yuko, hatapata mlungula. Nataka Ministry of Education iangalie where is the rain beating that is kupeana pesa ya capitation.
Kuona simu wanaba principal ano sima walipata pesa ya CDF, zile cheki ambazo walipata, hiyo pesa imeisha kweli? Tungependa kuwaomba principal, tafadhali, hao mama na hao wazee, tunajua maisha imepanda juu, tafadhali punguzeni kidogo kufukuza hao watoto, ili wamama watafute wauze kuku kidogo, ndiposa watoto wetu wasome, tupate AIDS, hii basi iweze kutusaidia.
Nominated Member of Parliament Sabina Chege has called on former President Uhuru Kenyatta to hold a meeting with the Jubilee Party members and solve the issues eating up the party. Speaking while issuing food donations to Murang'a residents, Chege has said that they respect the former head of state and their wish is for the party to progress and enjoy the support of more Kenyans.
Sisi ambao tuko kwenye Jubilee, tulikufa kwenye Jubilee na tunapenda chama chetu. Na kama vile katiba imesema, miezi 6 ikipita, yule ambaye alikuwa party leader wetu hana uwezo wa katiba kuendelea. Na mimi nashukuru wale watu wa NEC ambao walisema mimi kwa wakati huu nisimamie kama acting party leader. Sisi hatuna vita na mtu yeyote na tunamheshimu sana. Sisi ni wale ambao manusura. tulibaki pale kwenye Jubilee. Vile tungependa sana hii Jubilee iendelee, iwe chama ambayo itasimama, iwe chama ambayo itakuwa na watu wengi. Ni vizuri tujue kwamba tulikuwa na wajumbe 177. Sasa tuko na wajumbe tu 28. Na hii ni chama, ilikuwa chama tawala. Sasa imekuwa ni kama tu chama ndogo, tuko chama nambari 3 katika bunge. Kwa hivyo sisi tungetaka sana Jubilee yaamke, tutaingia mashinani, na ile mgogoro ambayo iko kidogo ni nyumba tunajenga yetu, tungetaka Jubilee inawiri. Na kwa hivyo hata ningeomba ambaye alikuwa mwenyekiti wa chama chetu, pia ambaye alikuwa yeye ndio kinara wa chama chetu, ni vizuri watoto wote waite pamoja, na sisi tunampenda sana, tuzungumze pamoja, kwa sababu hakuna vita. Ile tungetaka ni chama isikufe.
The Cabinet Secretary for Information, Communication and the Digital Economy, Eliud Owalo, has challenged Nyanza residents to create a conducive environment for the government to deliver on its mandate on the region. Owalo said it is time for paradigm shift from the rhetoric politics to a tangible transformation and development-oriented agenda that will see the region realize fast development. Emmanuel Marwa reports.
The CS-ICT Eliud Owalo was speaking at his Asembo home in Rarieda, Siaya County today when he met religious leaders from Nyanza. The Cabinet Secretary said that development can only thrive in an atmosphere of peace, but not an atmosphere of perpetual noise and distraction.
Requesting the people of this region to create an enabling environment for the government to deliver on its mandate. Development can only thrive in an atmosphere of peace, not an atmosphere of perpetual noise, distraction. We want to change the paradigm in this region from politics of rhetoric to a tangible transformation, development-oriented agenda. We have done politics for 58 years, year in, year out. It cannot be the same. We cannot continue with business as usual. Deliberately and consciously, we must change the politics of this region. Let us move away from perpetual politics to a pursuit of a development agenda.
Owalo said that the government was committed to delivering on its promise to all Kenyans, adding that for the first time, the country has got a president who is keen on rolling out tangible development programs in Nyanza.
And I can assure you without fear of contradiction that for the first time since independence, we have got a president who is truly keen on rolling out tangible development programs in Nyanza. And let us give him the support. Because he's the president of one country, we have got one government led by one president and one Kenyan people. In between, the focus of government is development, delivery to the people, based on the promises that we made to the people during the campaign. This region of Nyanza, we have already rolled out massive tangible development programs which are now in progress. Issues to do with water programs are now being implemented, electricity programs. Roads, we are going to first of all finish or complete those roads which had stalled.
The Cabinet Secretary assured the church and the Kenya Kwanza government considers the church as an integral stakeholder of its administration and will integrate it in its programs.
And just to assure you that you will not be left behind now that we are in government. We will continue appealing to you to continue praying for the government, continue praying for peace in the country, so that we have got an enabling environment for the government to deliver on its mandate. The government, under the tutelage and leadership of His Excellency President William Ruto, has got a lot of faith in the church. The church is an integral stakeholder. We want to integrate the church in everything that you are doing, and we also appeal to you to continue praying for peace and unity in the country.
Siaya County Commissioner Jim Njoka, who also addressed the meeting, called on church leaders to support the Presidential Task Force on Religious Affairs by giving their views.
Presidential Task Force, not any other task force. Presidential Task Force on Religious Affairs. You people, you are in a historical moment. You are in a historical moment. Please participate and give your views to that task force. If you have an opportunity, attend their sittings. If you don't have an opportunity, sit down and prepare your memorandum and make sure you send it to them so that your views are included. And that's why I'm saying you are in a historical moment. And while you are preparing your submissions, or if you are there going to give your views personally, be sober.
Emmanuel Marwa reporting for EBN TV.
Thank you, Marwa, for that report. Pastor Ezekiel Odero of New Life Prayer Center and Church has today planted another church in Kisii County. According to the preacher who has been on the DCI radar immediately after Pastor Paul Mackenzie of Good News International Church was arrested for involvement in the Shakahola massacre, it has taken him 2 years to acquire the 13-acre piece of land where they will be setting up a mega church together with his younger brother Gilak Odero to serve his followers within the region. The televangelist has expressed gratitude to the government for allowing him to carry on with his gospel. His legal team, led by lawyers Cliff Ombeta and Dunstan Omari, have expressed confidence that the move by the preacher will greatly develop the area, as is the case in Mavueni, Kilifi County.
It has taken us around 2 years looking for this piece of land. Kisii is highly populated, and you don't expect it to be that easy to get a piece of land. But we have paid what we have paid, and we thank God for I call them our neighbors and our people, peace-loving people.
Watu ambao watafaidika sana, watu ambao watasaidika pia sana ni watu wa hii community. Kumbuka kuwa yeye huwa atafuti watu kutoka nje waje kufanya kazi. Atatafuta watu wa hii community ndio waweze kufanya kazi. Mkiona kuwa kutakuwa na shida mtatueleza, lakini hakuna shida yote. Pasta kwa hivyo atahakikisha kuwa hapa pameendelea. Atahakikisha hapa hivi watu wamepata kazi.
Security apparatus of Kisii County, because they allowed Pastor Ezekiel to hold a peaceful dedication of a church, and you can see from the attendance the huge numbers of the Abagusi community and all other neighboring communities that were there.
Machakos County has today received medical equipment worth 70 million shillings from Malteser International, a German organization that helps in fighting against HIV, tuberculosis, cancer, and other diseases. Speaking during the official handover of the equipment at Machakos Level 5 Hospital, Machakos Governor Wavinya Ndeti has reiterated her government's commitment in bettering healthcare services to the county residents. Governor Ndeti has also hinted that her county is set to also benefit from a total of 879.8 million shillings from other donors to help boost the county healthcare department.
I am glad to witness the handover of the refurbished accident and emergency unit and emergency medical equipment and supplies worth Kenya shillings 70 million from our friends and partners from Germany. I am happy to report that Malteser has also trained our emergency responders and ambulance drivers during this first phase of their program and will continue with the capacity building for our emergency response staff.
Gavana, ningependa kukuhakikishia kwamba wauguzi, madaktari na wahudumu wote wa afya katika kaunti ya Machakos tumeamua kwa kauli moja kwamba tutafanya kazi kusaidia mwananchi, kwa sababu mwananchi anapokwenda kwa hospitali anaenda akiwa na haja.
Leaders from Kericho and Bomet counties have formed a 20-member technical team to address the recently reported disputes between locals and multinational tea companies. The team is expected to address unemployment among the youth and women in the two counties. The leaders also called for the systematic balancing of mechanization and human resource by companies in order to cushion residents against unemployment. Security agencies have been urged to solve disputes fairly while addressing stalemates as they sensitize locals on the need for peace campaigns in solving disputes.
We are forming a working team that will be able to take us through so that some of the thorny issues such as resurveying of the tea plantations to ascertain the exact acreages, matters leases within the multinationals shall also be looked upon as we move forward.
Their assignment will be dealt with within a period of 30 days, subject to extension, depending on the issues that will be identified and also the consultations that will be relevant.
I would like the public to look at the KTGA as partners. Do not look at us as maybe some other beings from maybe Mars or where. We are here to work with the local community. We are here to try and create projects that will impact the community in a positive manner.
Rarieda Member of Parliament Otiende Amolo has reiterated Azimio la Umoja's commitment in fighting the Finance Bill 2023, which was passed by the National Assembly on Thursday this week. According to Otiende, Azimio la Umoja still has options of fighting the passing of the bill, and starting next week, they will start the process after consulting with Kenyans. On matters bipartisan talks, the legislature stated that they will only resume talks after the Kenya Kwanza representatives show seriousness as they previously were not prepared.
We in Azimio, we in ODM fought it as much as we could at every stage. At the first reading, we fought it. At the second reading, we spoke against it. At the third reading, we voted 6 times against it. But they used their numbers to pass it. They used their numbers against the interest of the ordinary Kenyan, because they are using what they believe is a tyranny of numbers in the National Assembly. I told them then, and I'm reminding them now, that Parliament exercises delegated authority under Article 1 of the Constitution. The ultimate authority lies with the people of Kenya. And as a delegatee of authority, if you abuse that authority, then the person who gave you that authority has the final say. It is not the end of the road yet. We still have 2 more options. The first option we have, and we are exploring it, is the option of testing the legality and the legitimacy of that finance bill in court. We are already in court. I was there yesterday. We are back again there on Monday, and the court will tell us whether that finance bill is legitimate and legal or not. So those who are celebrating, they better withhold their celebration.
Woe unto you, hypocrites! So that if you elect...
Intergovernmental Authority for Development, IGAD, has called on the leaders in Sudan to cease the fight, which has left hundreds dead and property worth millions destroyed. Speaking during the launch of a human rights institution in Mombasa Port, the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights Commissioner Marion Mutugi and IGAD Executive Secretary Wakne Gebeyehu have said it is time for Sudanese leaders to embrace peace for the betterment of their country and the region at large. Thousands of Sudanese nationals have been reported fleeing their country to seek refuge in neighboring counties, with the Human Rights Institution now vowing to fight human rights violation in its member state.
The members of this network express our grave concerns regarding the situation in Sudan. The network particularly notes and condemns the human rights violations and violations of international humanitarian law being perpetuated against the vulnerable groups in Sudan, including women, children, persons with disabilities, and the elderly who bear the brunt of the current war. To this end, the network of IGAD NHRIs calls upon all actors in Sudan to desist from violence and instead embrace dialogue as a mode of achieving sustainable solutions.
Let us loudly say that This is a senseless war against one brother to another, one sister to another. So we have to firmly stand and we have to echo this very important voice to the region and to the